I have been finding affordable drugstore dupes for expensive makeup items here on my channel for like 11 or 12 years now. And these are my recent findings, some new fresh dupes that I think you might be interested in. So let's talk about them. I will have all the information I'm talking about down below for you, all the products I mentioned and their dupes. And I will share which one I prefer. So like, do I think the splurge is better, or do I think the one where you're saving is better? And why. So you're gonna see them applied side by side. I'm so excited. I've been doing this for so long, like I said. So check out my playlist of dupes videos. I think you'll find some in there you're interested in. And let's dive in. So anything I use today on my face, actually I think all of it so far has been drugstore. I will link below if you're curious what foundation I'm wearing, sunscreen. I found a couple new gems at the drugstore like within the past week or two that I'm obsessed with that I haven't yet talked about here on my channel. So if you're curious what they are, I'll link them. Okay, let's start with the first dupe. We're gonna start with eyeliner, which I actually think is kind of a boring category when it comes to finding alternatives for, because first of all, typically when you find an eyeliner that works for you, you kind of just stick with it and repurchase the same one. That's typically what I do. I had stuck onto one for years that I loved. However, recently I tried a new one that is from Lancome. It is their 24-hour Drama Liqui-pencil. Okay, I had really high hopes because this is pricey. The price on this is $26. It has 8 different shades and I have the shade Cafe Noir. So the thing that drew me to it is the claims are that it is waterline proof. Like you can put it in the waterline, it is not gonna budge. It just stays all day. It truly is like waterproof, budge proof. And a lot of, as you probably have experienced too, a lot of eyeliners that claim that aren't necessary. It's not necessarily true. So I brought this on a cruise vacation with me. You guys, it's so good. It's so good. So then I was on a quest to find a dupe. So we're gonna talk about the dupe here in a sec, but let me apply this and show you what it looks like. I'll do this on the left side. So first of all, it is wildly creamy. I feel like that was a weird swatch, but super creamy. It is a pencil that you sharpen. And another thing I love about it is that you can really smudge it with a brush and make it look really, really cool. But it'll still remain very, very dark. And I think a lot of liners that I've tried over the years can, once you start smudging, they kind of lighten. And sometimes, I love that I'm talking about how it doesn't transfer and then it transfers right away. I think I actually just like touched that with the liner, but who knows. Anyway, a lot of ones I've used, they kind of lighten and soften as you smudge, but this one really, I mean, it might lighten a bit, but it really does remain very, very dark if that's what you're looking for. But I love that you have a minute or two to work with it. But once it sets, like this swatch, I will not be able to get off here in a bit. I probably should not have gone so big. I'll usually use like a makeup wipe, and I was swatching these just before sitting down to film side by side yet again. And it's very hard to get off. But yeah, you can see how dark it is. I have it in my waterline up above, which is what I like. It does not budge. Like there may be within the first 5 or 10 minutes, a little bit that comes down here, but once I wipe it one time, that's it. That is so hard to find. So the dupe I found has actually been available at the drugstore for a while, and I don't know if they were intentionally duping this. I don't know how long this Lancome product's been out as well, but it's probably been out a while. It's just not been on my radar. So I discovered, actually a while ago, but I retried it with this, the Infallible Pro Last Longwear Eye Pencil from L'Oreal. Now, I wish I'd gotten Blackest Black. I bought a new one just to make sure, because I was like, how old is this one that I've had that I was testing with it? So I got a new one too, just to compare. They're the same. But I wish I gotten Blackest Black, because I think this one I have from Lancome is like their Blackest Black. This one's just plain black. So also super duper creamy. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, well, cool. That broke off. Here, let me use this other one. So yeah, super creamy, super black, very similar vibe. And they both kind of sharpen similarly. This is the one with the gold writing is the Lancome, and then there's the L'Oreal, where you can kind of see, I feel like it's hard to sharpen this kind of pencil, but they do sharpen. And I use my beloved, this is like $7 or $8. The NARS sharpener is so good. You'll never need to buy another one. But anyway, it applies very, very similarly. Again, it's a very creamy, but you still have some time to work with it. And I also have found in the past like 3 weeks of wearing these side by side most days, they perform so incredibly similarly, you guys. Like it's pretty astounding because the price difference is no joke. This is one that, because it's not their Blackest Black, I do find that it doesn't stay quite as dark as the Lancome one does as I'm smudging it, and you can kind of see that. I'd be curious in the future to maybe try the Blackest Black and see how that compares. But when I tell you, this also does not budge from the waterline. It is just so good. So I'm gonna kind of darken this just a bit to make it match a little better. But yeah, you know, I'll work out in these or go out in the heat with my kids in the backyard and sweat, and I feel as if there's been that much heat yet. There really hasn't. We've had some nice days, but you know what I mean. And it doesn't budge as well. So we are talking about a $16 price difference. You can save $16 and get the one at the drugstore. Now, if you can swing it and want to try the Lancome one, like I said, it's amazing. Will I repurchase both of these probably in the future? Yeah. But if I'm being honest, if my best friend were asking me like, hey, what eyeliner is not gonna move, I would tell them the more affordable one because they perform just the same and you really don't need to spend the extra $16 when you're really not getting any more payoff or any more like bang for your buck. Amazing dupe. All right, I'm gonna try to get these swatches off of here. Wish me luck. Next up is liquid bronzer, liquid contour. So you may have heard that Rare Beauty very recently launched their new product, which is their liquid bronzer, liquid contour. I have the shade Mellow. They have 7 different shades. It is half an ounce, which is gonna be important here in a second when I share the possible dupe, okay? So it's half of an ounce and it's $28. So this is one of those that I will just put on my hand like so, and then go in with the brush. I just find it's easier to apply. I have a little bit more control. But this gives for me, the perfect summery bronze color. Now, if I wanted more of a contour shade from Rare Beauty for my skin tone, I would have bought Gentle. That's more of like I hate to say gray tone, but it is gray toned. I don't know why I hate to say that. Anyway, I'm just being weird, okay, guys? I'm in a weird mood. But do you see what I mean? Like, it's so easy to work with. This is a brush I love. I can link, if you're interested on Amazon, it's my go-to for this kind of product. It's just, it's pretty. It doesn't look like makeup. Like, it does, but it doesn't. It's not powdery, so I feel like in the summer it looks nice. I feel like it lasts pretty well. This is not something I find that is gonna last me a 14-hour day. Some of it will still be there, but it's not gonna look perfect. For longevity, I would go with the powder bronzer any day. But for most days, this is exactly what I want. I want it to look exactly like this, where you can tell I'm wearing makeup, but you're like, I can't really see it as well though. Love this. So easy to apply. So the bronzer is probably one you will not be surprised to hear as a dupe. It's the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Bronzer and Contour. Here's the thing. I'm gonna show you this in action. It's really, really pretty and I love it. I have not been able to stop using this just the same as the Rare Beauty. I love them both. One pro for this, other than it's only $7, is that there are 10 shades. So there's more shades. The Rare Beauty one has 7 shades. But when you actually break down the amount of product you're getting in these, Rare Beauty has 0.5 ounces. The e.l.f. has 0.13. So that's basically 25%-ish of what this has. So if I took 7 times 4, we basically would have to buy 4 of these to be equal to this one, and that'd be about $28, and this is $28. So this is actually the same price as this when it comes to the amount you're getting, which is wild. That's wild. And it's kind of like, it's kind of a bummer, but there's also the caveat that sometimes you don't have $28 to spend, but you can spend $7 right now. And so I feel like it's important to think about how much you're getting and if you can swing the $28. But like I said, you don't always have $28 to throw around. Maybe you have 7, and you might want to make sure you even like it. You know what I mean? Before diving in. And furthermore, you might just find a better shade match in the e.l.f. So this is gonna be a little bit tricky because this shade I have is not a perfect shade match to the Rare Beauty because this one is more of a contour shade, again, like gray toned. I have the shade Fair. If I went up to the next shade, it would probably be a perfect shade dupe for this. I just felt like I didn't need to spend the money on that and have another one in my collection when I already have one that does this shade for me. But you get the idea. The formula, you guys, it feels like the exact same formula. And I had tried and fallen in love with the e.l.f. one before the Rare Beauty. And so it was weird when I tried the Rare Beauty, I was like, whoa, this feels exactly like if I were blindfolded, feels exactly like it. So I do the same thing. I'll use a different brush, smaller one, just because it's what I have clean. This, oh, I'm using the same one. Crap, guys, hold on. I was using the same one. Well, you know what? It doesn't matter because my point is I'm gonna have to even this out with both shades on both sides because the e.l.f. one you're about to see Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm the worst. I am the worst scientist, guys. Don't. You can see it's definitely a lot more gray tone, like a true contour, and I honestly took it in a little too far there. I would be kind of interested to try the e.l.f. one in the other shades, but again, I'm like, I don't really need it right now. I really like the Rare Beauty one, and I have that shade that I would need for more of a bronzy look, but it's just as easy to apply. I think even easier, honestly, with the bigger brush. So pretty. So now I'm gonna even it out. I think, honestly, if you can swing the $28 for the Rare Beauty just because you're getting so much more, I guess at the end of the day, if you bought 4 of these, you would be getting the same amount of product, so it wouldn't matter. But I find that I like that the Rare Beauty has more in it. Of course, it's prettier packaging. But when I'm talking about formula, you guys, I really do feel like they are exactly the same. I feel like the wear time is the same. Okay, so now I need to even this out or else it will drive me crazy all day. I need to get a little bit of, this is the science right here. All right, get a little bit of the gray and get it over there. I'm sure no one would ever notice, but I would. We got stuff to do tonight. So you could save $21 if you wanted, but really, are you saving $21? Technically, no. And I'm also just realizing that I typically do high end on one side and drugstore on the other, and I have already mixed it up, and I'm so sorry, you guys. All right, well, Rare Beauty's over here, although I guess it's on both sides at this point, but anyway. Sorry about that one, guys. Let's move on. Okay, this one I discovered, and I believe it's a dupe, so I'm excited to share it with you guys. So this one I recently splurged on from YSL. It is their Make Me Blush. It is $45. I have it in the shade number 6, Rose Haze, and they have, as far as I know, 8 shades. They have 4 matte and 4 like satin, and this is one of their matte ones. I love this. I have found, first of all, the packaging is just beautiful, but I have found that it wears so long on the face. Like the wear time in this is amazing, but it's easy to apply. It's not so wildly pigmented. Like there's some blushes that have released recently, for example, NYX Buttermelt blushes. Those are amazing, but they are so pigmented. I feel like I have to be like doing fancy footwork to make sure it doesn't look crazy. And I'm like, I don't have time for, I really don't have time for that. And I know you don't either. And so I love a blush that is easy to apply. It's not so pigmented that you have to like use a fine-toothed comb to apply it. So we're gonna do high end on this side. We're gonna stick with that. So I just said that and then I like way over applied, but I just feel like it looks so pretty. It's such a normal shade. And I feel like a lot of people look at this and they're like, okay, why would you spend that much money on it? And I agree with you. I agree with you. Why would you? I don't know. Why did I? But I'm thankful that I love the blush and that it lasts really, really long time. Well, as I'm falling in love with this, I was thinking, and I was using this on that same trip, and I'm thinking about blushes I already own. And I'm like, gosh, this reminds me of this one from Milani. This has been around forever. It's their Rose Powder Blush. I have the shade Romantic Rose. It's probably about time for me to get a fresh one of these because I've been digging around in this for, I feel like years. And it's starting to get a little bit weird, but I love this blush. It's like one of my everyday blushes. Now, this shade is not exactly a dupe. There are multiple shades. This one's around $10. There's 6 shades and you can find it at the drugstore, right? But I just love it. And I have definitely found that the wear time on this is amazing too. So I feel like it's not overly pigmented. You can work with it and it stays a long time. I think if I were blindfolded and was putting these on, I don't know that I would be able to tell which I was using. Unless I felt it and felt like the YSL embossing or something like that, or the rose shape on it. For this pairing, I really do feel like you could save the $35. I've loved this Milani one forever, and $45 on a blush really is extravagant, and there's really no reason you need to when a product at the drugstore exists that is exactly the same type of formula and it lasts just as well, and it also has multiple shades, and it's got cute packaging too, okay? The gold, the cute rosy detail on it, come on. It's allergy season, you know. Are you a fellow sufferer? Okay, this is tricky because the next 2 pairings I'm trying, one of them is like a highlighter balm and the other is an under eye setting powder. And I don't typically pair them necessarily together. So I'm trying to figure out which order I should do these. I'll do the powders first. And I'll just maybe try to avoid this outer area. So I recently tried the Kosas Cloud Set Loose powder. This is in the shade Candy Rose. Pink loose powders are very popular right now. I first fell in love with the one from Jones Road. That one is actually a little bit of a deeper pink than this. So they're very similar products, obviously, and I use them in the same way. But the Jones Road one is just slightly different. So today we're comparing the Kosas one though, because this is a new launch that a lot of people, like there's just a lot of buzz about it. So this is $38. They have 4 shades and it comes with 0.7 ounces, which is the same as the dupe we're gonna talk about. You may have already seen my Instagram reel comparing these two. If you're not following me on Instagram, what are you waiting for? I do a lot of other different makeup-y still content, but short form content over there. My Instagram is It's Jessica Braun, B-R-A-U-N. I hope you guys will come say hey over there. I'm always hanging out in my Instagram stories pretty much every day. So what I do with this typically is I will get some on a velour puff like this. I actually will typically get a decent amount, kind of rub it in, and then, no, high end is on this side. And then I just tap it into that area. I find that pink powder kind of brightens the area, as you can see. It of course sets the concealer. Oftentimes I'll still do it in the middle and on my nose, I don't know, just like a little extra setting once I've got the main amount of it off. And then if needed, I'll just kind of wipe away what's still there. And I just like it, especially with the blush. I feel like it can kind of fuse into the blush really beautifully. And I don't know, I've really been drawn to loose pink powder. So Wet n Wild released this guy. It is their Photo Focus Loose Setting Powder in soft pink. This one is around $6. The dupe would save you $32. And again, this is 0.7 ounces as well, so the same amount. Now, the packaging is different. This is, of course, just cheaper packaging. It's wide open with those little holes, right? But many of you guys, when I showed this in that Instagram reel, mentioned only poke through a few of the holes. That way you're getting a more controlled amount out. So kind of wish I had done that, but anyway, here we are. So the one nice thing about it is though, I can really easily get what I want. Here, you know what? Let me use a different powder puff. There we go. So I tend to always have a little bit more of this. So I'm gonna try to make it more even. Here we go. I kind of like the Wet n Wild one better. I really kind of do. And it's funny, especially seeing it yet again side by side. I think it almost emphasizes my little fine lines less. I don't know what it is, and it's like the tone is just slightly brighter. Like there's something about it, and it really is. If you look at these side by side, the Kosas is definitely a little bit of a deeper pink. So I find myself reaching for the Wet n Wild one more often, and so to be able to save that much money, and you are never gonna run out of this, like man. So I would say go for the affordable option. I would skip the splurge. This is a product I've loved for years, okay? This is one we're kind of testing together here because I had heard this is a dupe and I want to actually test it side by side. So this is one that we're going into this blind together, okay? I've swatched them side by side, that's it. So this is the Merit Day Glow Highlighting Balm. It's in the shade Cava. It is $32. It has 4 different shades and it's just a really pretty, really wearable highlighter stick. I think what makes this special to me and why I've loved it over the years, I only have a few highlighters in my collection at this point. This is one that has stayed around because it just looks like skin. So, okay, we're generally kind of matte on my skin right now. So when I tap it on, it can kind of look like a lot if you go in that heavy like I just did, but it instantly melts into the skin because of the formula. And it just looks like skin. Like you can almost not tell I'm wearing a highlighter, but then you look and it just looks healthy, slightly glowy, but it's placed where you want it. You don't need a separate brush, or I almost applied it to the other side. I just think it is the most wearable, beautiful, youthful looking highlighter stick, or just highlighter in general, I should say. So I love that look. And sometimes I'll get a little bit and put it on my brow bone. I feel like that just looks pretty. You can put it on your nose. I will often use it that way. I will use this if I'm wearing like a cutie little shirt. I might put it on my collarbone. Like it's just pretty. And it's multi-use in that way. So the dupe I had heard about was the L'Oreal Lumi Le Glace highlighting stick. So I got it in Glassy Pearl. This looked the closest I could find. This is $13. So you'd save $29 if you went with the dupe. And this has 6 shades versus Merit's 4 shades. Here's the thing, right off the bat and just swatching them, this L'Oreal one is a little bit stickier. It's a little bit stickier. The Merit one, you don't feel, once it's on your skin, you don't feel it. Like my hair is not gonna get stuck to it. This feels like the kind of formula that your hair, you know what I mean, will get stuck to. So we're gonna see. This is my first time trying it too. So it's a little less white of a shade though than the Merit one. I'm trying to get it to kind of show up. Definitely is very natural looking. Can you see it? I literally can't. Not, I mean, I think because of the angle and I just can't tell. Hold on. The things I have to do. Now let me rewatch that video and see. Okay. Oh yeah, you can see it. Honestly, I had kind of not low expectations, but I feel like a lot of times when I've tried stick products from the drugstore, I've been a little bit let down. Either they're too dry or they're too something. I am kind of pleasantly surprised at, oh, now I can see it, how that looks. It definitely, you can still feel the product a little more. Like I feel like the Merit one dried down a bit, but not so much. Like I don't think it's, now it's getting stuck to my lip balm. Okay, a little bit gets stuck there. Okay, well, a little bit gets stuck on my cheek here. So I don't know. I mean, I would say if you've never tried a product like this, perhaps the move is, if you're curious if you'll like it, buy the less expensive one, because this looks very, very similar. It is a slightly different formula, but it gives a very similar look. And especially if it's something that you're not even gonna wear all of the time, it might not be worth the splurge, but wow. So I was doing a little bit of math of like, okay, if you went and bought all 5 of these products and you bought the affordable version, you would save $133. Drugstore's gotten more expensive, as has everything, and we all know that. But I will say, I mean, over the years, drugstore has just gotten so incredible that there really is no reason you ever need to buy the more expensive thing. And I feel like those that are in the know of like the dupes that are out there, you just know. Like sometimes I'll see friends of mine that have certain makeup products and I'm like, all I'm thinking is, you know, you could have saved a lot of money. Now, that's coming from someone that loves makeup, and I buy the high end too, okay? I test a lot here for my job. But you know what I mean? Like, it feels like a club that you're in the know about the dupes. So I am already working towards my next dupes video here soon. So stick around, subscribe, stay tuned if you want more of this kind of content. I do 1 makeup or beauty video a week, and I also do 1 vlog a week, and there's usually makeup-y hauls and stuff like that in those. So if you're into that kind of content, I really do hope you stick around. I don't think I shared my name. My name's Jessica. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you're having an awesome day wherever you are. Comment below if you watch this video all the way to the end. 3 money bag emojis, because we're saving money, honey, okay? Saving money in 2025. Anyway, I love you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.